There are numerous literary works that delve into the journey of the afterlife, and one that often comes to mind is Dante's Inferno. However, what many people may not know is that it is just a part of a larger three-part work called Divina Commedia, also known as the Divine Comedy. This narrative poem follows the concept of the journey one must undertake after death, as believed during the Middle Ages. As an audience, we accompany Dante through hell, purgatory, and heaven, which are the three segments of this epic narrative. These segments are respectively known as Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. Dante's journey through the afterlife provides intriguing insights into the social conditions and expectations of the Middle Ages. Moreover, for enthusiasts of Greek and Roman mythology, Dante seamlessly weaves their influence into his own work, with countless references throughout. However, it is important to note that since this work was written in the 14th century, some of the language used may make it challenging and not the most enjoyable read. Nevertheless, at its core, Dante's Divine Comedy is a story that is worth sharing. In today's video, we will focus on summarizing the first part of Dante's journey, which takes place in the 9 circles of hell. Now, let's delve into the story of Dante's journey through the afterlife. The narrative is set in the year 1300 when Dante awakens on the evening of Good Friday in a dark wood, with no recollection of how he ended up there. In the distance, he spots a foothill bathed in sunlight, and he determines that it must be a safer place than the woods. Thus, he embarks on an ascent, but encounters a leopard, a lion, and a she-wolf along the way. Overwhelmed by these dangerous animals, Dante is forced to retreat back into the forest. In the forest, he encounters a spirit named Virgil, a once famous poet or bard. Virgil informs Dante that they can guide him to paradise, but they must first journey through hell. Dante, being a storyteller himself, feels an immediate connection with Virgil and trusts him as his guide. Together, they pass through the gates of hell and begin their descent into the underworld. As one would expect, hell is not a pleasant place. It is a realm of eternal woe and pain, where all hope is abandoned. The sky is pitch black, devoid of stars, and the air is thick with the sounds of grief and sorrow. Dante describes witnessing a flag whirling through the air, pursued by a group of naked spirits. These tormented souls are cursed to chase the unreachable flag while being stung by wasps and hornets. Their tears and the blood from their wounds fall to the ground, where maggots and worms cover the surface. To escape this torment, Dante and Virgil must venture deeper into hell. Their path leads them to the river Acheron, where countless souls await the ferryman of the dead, Charon. The influence of Greek mythology on Dante's work is evident here, as the river Acheron and Charon are taken straight from Greek myth. After some negotiation, Charon agrees to transport Dante and Virgil across the river. On the other side, Virgil explains that they have arrived in the first circle of hell, known as Limbo. This circle is inhabited by souls who, although not necessarily sinful, lack the necessary faith. These souls include the unbaptized and virtuous pagans who, despite their lack of sin, are condemned to eternal damnation and denied entry into paradise. In the distance, Dante spots a great citadel that houses many renowned philosophers, including Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Before becoming Dante's guide, Virgil himself resided in this citadel. Throughout their journey, Dante also encounters other great poets such as Homer, Ovid, and Horace, as well as musicians, statesmen, generals, and physicians from Greek and Roman history. In this way, Dante's Inferno presents a vivid depiction of the various circles of hell, each representing different sins and their corresponding punishments. It serves as a cautionary tale and a reflection of the moral and social values of the time. While Dante's Divine Comedy may not be the easiest or most enjoyable read due to its 14th century language, it remains a story worth sharing. It offers valuable insights into the beliefs and perspectives of the Middle Ages, while showcasing the enduring influence of Greek and Roman mythology. After their departure from the first circle, they continue their journey to the second circle of hell, which is dedicated to lust. While the first circle had some degree of freedom for its inhabitants, the real punishment begins from the second circle onward. Minos, a giant serpentine figure from Greek mythology, is there to welcome souls into the second circle. In Dante's interpretation, Minos takes on a more monstrous form and judges the crimes of those who appear before him, determining the appropriate punishment. He wraps his tail around himself a certain number of times, indicating the circle to which the souls are sentenced. The second circle is specifically designed for those who have given in to lust, including kings, queens, and rulers such as Cleopatra, Helen of Troy, Paris, and Achilles. Dante considers lust as a mutual indulgence and the least heinous of sins, resulting in a comparatively lenient punishment within hell. With Virgil's help, Dante is allowed to proceed past Minos, entering the third circle, dedicated to gluttony. Here, an incessant icy rain punishes the insatiable appetites of the gluttonous. These souls are immersed in vile and putrid mud, resembling gelatinous masses that cannot stand or crawl. Cerberus, the three-headed hound, guards and torments them, flaying and mauling with his claws while they scream in helplessness. Virgil manages to calm Cerberus, allowing Dante and him to pass safely through the circle. Along the way, they encounter spirits who have long suffered in this realm, appearing as foul-smelling liquid without bodies. Dante encounters an unfamiliar spirit named Chiaco, who recognizes him from their shared hometown of Florence. Chiaco delivers the first of many political prophecies, discussing the state of civil conflict and foretelling the expulsion of Dante's aligned party with assistance from Rome. In the fourth circle, Dante meets Pluto, a deity representing wealth. This circle represents greed, punishing those who excessively value material possessions. The souls are divided into two groups, those who hoarded their possessions and money, and those who recklessly spent their wealth, neglecting its value and squandering everything they had. These groups are cursed to push enormous weights up a hill, only to clash in the middle and argue about their respective behaviors. The hoarders and wasters are confined together, forever engaged in futile arguments, a reflection of society's tendencies. As they descend further, they reach the river Styx, the fifth circle of hell, representing wrath. This swampy mire is where the wrathful souls engage in continuous battles. The boatman, Phlegyas, reluctantly agrees to ferry Dante and Virgil to the other side after a brief disagreement. During their journey, a soul named Filippo Argenti, a bitter political rival of Dante, tries to attack them. Dante, ironically, wishes for Filippo to suffer more punishment, revealing his own behavior aligning with the souls in this circle. Dante notices fiery towers and burning wars in the distance, indicating their approach to the city of Dis, located in the lower part of hell. The fallen angels guarding the gates deny their entry. However, they grant Virgil passage on the condition that he can never return to his own circle. Dante becomes worried about being trapped in hell, but Virgil promises not to abandon him, despite their fear. Virgil's previous failure and lack of a clear plan make Dante doubt his guide for the first time. Virgil assures Dante that he has ventured this deep into hell before, sent by the sorceress Erythia to retrieve a soul for her necrotic rituals. Suddenly, the Furies, female figures stained in blood with serpents entwined around them, I apologize for the previous incomplete response. The following text is the continuation. Eriphyle and Tisiphone appear before Dante, displeased by his presence. They summon Medusa in an attempt to turn him into stone. Virgil warns Dante about Medusa's gaze and covers his eyes to protect him from the petrifying effect. From the river Styx emerges an angelic figure sent from heaven. The Furies flee in terror, and the gate-guarding angels are reprimanded. The angel opens the gates, allowing Dante and Virgil to enter the city of Dis, also known as the City of the Fallen, which encompasses circles 6 through 9. Circle 6 is located just within the city walls, with the remaining circles closer to the center. In the Circle of Heresy, Dante and Virgil encounter a group of heretics confined within burning tombs as their punishment. These heretics, known as the Epicureans, believe that the soul dies along with the body and prioritized pleasure above all else, seeking tranquility. They believed that pleasure allowed them to escape pain and discomfort. Dante encounters two tormented souls, including one from Florence who stands on the opposite side of Dante's beliefs. Before leaving this region, the poets experience an overwhelming stench emanating from the lower depths of hell, forcing them to take a momentary rest. Virgil seizes this opportunity to explain the challenges they will face in the upcoming circles. The next 3 circles contain smaller circles within themselves. For instance, the circle of violence is divided into 3 sections. The first section encompasses acts of violence against others and their property. The second section involves acts of violence against oneself, such as suicide. Lastly, the third section pertains to acts of violence against God or nature. To enter the circle of violence, they must pass through a narrow passage of broken rocks, where they encounter the Minotaur, who blocks their path. Virgil taunts the Minotaur by insinuating that his murderer can also be found within the circle of violence. Enraged, the Minotaur charges at them but ends up severely wounded, unable to pursue them any further. The first section of Circle 7 is designated for those who committed acts of violence against their fellow humans. Here, a river of boiling blood awaits, and the depth of the blood corresponds to the severity of their crimes. Murderers are fully submerged, while those who committed assault may only be partially immersed. As they approach the river, a group of centaurs guarding the river with bows drawn confronts Dante and Virgil, demanding to know their purpose. Virgil insists on speaking with their leader, explaining their journey. These centaurs' role is to prevent souls in this circle from escaping the river, rather than stopping Dante and Virgil from entering. Chiron, the centaur leader, notices that Dante is alive and demands an explanation from Virgil. After hearing their story, Chiron permits them to continue their journey, but the text has reached its limit, and I apologize for not being able to complete it within the specified word count.